My talk today focuses on the fact that Tesla bringing out the semi-truck will bankrupt Nikola within 12 months. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Thank you once again for taking time out to watch our videos. If this is the first time you're viewing us online, please take time to like and subscribe. We have a number of great videos coming up over the next month that I think you'll enjoy. Bonjour, wie geht's, здравствуйте, French, German, Russian. Today's talk focuses on the fact that there's an immediate 5 reasons, but there are actually 20 reasons why the Tesla truck announcement will bankrupt Nikola. I wanted to review these because, unfortunately, I'm a little sad. I've got my black jacket on, as you can see, and I'm sad because Nikola sort of designed and came out with what I think is a pretty decent project. Unfortunately, they've run into the machine that Tesla is when it comes to lithium-ion batteries and sort of performance optimization. So the first reason why Nikola is going under is that access to batteries. Nikola is a startup company with a couple of hundred employees, and a lot of their key components are outsourced to other companies. So yes, they have $2 billion potentially in orders, but the challenge they have is that in order to fill those orders, they have to get batteries and other components that are hard to acquire when they're battling with not only Tesla, because Tesla's got the batteries from Panasonic for their X and S, and they're building their own batteries, but they're competing with huge companies like GM and Mercedes to get a hold of Korean batteries to go inside the battery component of what they're doing. The second reason why Nikola is dead is that Elon Musk and company did a bunch of research to determine whether or not they should do a hybrid or other types of battery cells, including hydrogen and natural gas. The issue was that they actually have fairly good performance when it comes to compared to an electric vehicle, but the problem they've run into is that how do you get supplies available at truck locations across the country to fuel those vehicles, regardless of what the alternative fuel might be? And the problem is that when you look at the cost of doing that, it's a lot cheaper to move electricity around on telephone wire, on power lines, than it is to ship natural gas or hydrogen to these locations so it can be used. So that's one of the challenges, I'd say the biggest challenge with Nikola being able to compete. So the third issue that pops up is range. Nikola still has a competitive advantage on length because they can go 1,200 miles. But the problem is, with Tesla coming out with a vehicle that goes 500 miles and recharging 400 miles in only 30 minutes, even if you wanted to go 1,000 miles in the truck, you still have to stop for food or a bathroom break. And that 30 minutes is just enough time to get it done, where it's not enough time that you lose so much time on the road that is costing a huge amount of money. So if it's single driver, they have to stop anyway, but if it's dual drivers, they still have reasons where they may have to stop to switch drivers or stop for bathroom or food breaks. So the incremental advantage of 1,000 miles over a truck that goes 500 miles is actually very narrow, because you also have the problem of Tesla actually did their homework, and Elon Musk pointed out that 80% of the semi-truck trips are 250 miles or less. So what that does is it means that Tesla can really dominate the 80% of the market that represents the largest share of truck movement. And they can, the customers that they've lined up thus far are sort of out and back customers. So you're going from a distribution center for, let's say, a grocery store to a Walmart or other large facility, maybe 2 different stores, and then back to distribution center. So 500 miles is adequate to get that route done from one truck. And when you look at those kind of activities by truck, that's 80% of the market. So with Tesla's ability to dominate that part of the market with their electric vehicle, it leaves a very small share for Nikola to go after as it's putting its truck to work. The next issue that I feel that they big time have is what I call first mover advantage. Tesla is sitting in employee parking lots, and other executives have them, and other people have experiences with the vehicles, everything from supercharging to driving them, et cetera, et cetera. So another problem that Nikola is running into is that they may have test trucks that they can have running, but the problem is that all these folks already have a relationship with Tesla in some way and are therefore inclined to be more confident about the Tesla solution than a company that's somewhat unproven. So I'm sort of sketching or sort of viewing some of the problems that are lurking there. But another issue that frankly comes up is that by mixing the hybrid with the electric, you're talking about extra equipment that actually costs extra weight. And so the problem is that you have 80,000 pounds max in most places in the United States. If you deduct 33,000 pounds, I believe is the number for the average truck and trailer, you now have a usable 43,000 miles that you can haul. And so if you have extra equipment that's taking up miles and Tesla doesn't have that extra equipment, they now have an advantage when it comes to the amount of cargo that can be carried, along with all the other advantages they already have in place. And then perhaps finally, and I'd have to say, sadly, we're 5 days after Tesla's announcement of the truck on November 16th, and it's been announced that Ryder Systems has now put in a sizable order of an unknown number of Tesla trucks to distribute to their customers that lease from them. So this is the ultimate nightmare killer, I believe, for Nikola, because Nikola signed a contract with Ryder for Ryder to handle sales as well as service of the Nikola trucks across their 800 locations in North America. And the nightmare question that pops up is that if they've got Teslas in hand and they have Nikolas in hand, you know, which are their customers going to be asking for and going with? And I think that the proven commodity in Tesla will likely get those orders. And not only do they get those orders, but the salespeople are sort of inclined to go with what the customers want to do as well. So I think this is a complete disaster, particularly the Ryder portion of the situation is a disaster. So I think this is unfortunate. Nikola has spent at least $100 million. I think it's probably $200 or $300 million by now. And I think it's unfortunate to see them go down in flames, a la Fisker and other companies that have put in hundreds of millions unsuccessfully. I'm hoping that they might be able to find a niche. I seriously don't think the number of people that they need is out there in that, let's say, 1,000 to 1,200 mile need component. And I really and seriously hope they're able to find a niche that allows them to continue in operations, or find enough of a niche for them to exist as a company, because it's a shame to have all those people put all that hard work in and get nowhere afterwards. It's kind of interesting to watch because Lightspeed and some other folks that are somewhat in the same area have chosen dump trucks or school buses or other niches that are somewhat protected from Tesla to go after. Interestingly enough, what I was really surprised by is that there's a company called BYD out of China, and they're doing U.S. manufacturing in California, and they are targeting school buses and garbage trucks. In Canada, they recently signed a deal with Loblaws, the same company that just bought 25 Teslas and likely will buy hundreds more. The interesting thing about it is that Loblaw just took delivery within the last 3 weeks, or first weeks of November of 2017, of, I believe, several tractor-trailer or 53-foot semi-trailers that are coming from China in BYD. And upon seeing this, I was like, uh-oh, it looks like Tesla may have a competitor there. And after reading the specs on BYD, I learned that their range for those trucks is max 100 miles. So this would allow Loblaw to concentrate on the sort of short runs, 30 to 50 miles in and out with the BYD truck, whereas Tesla's trucks would be asked to do the 1, 2, 3, 400-mile runs that BYD is unable to. But at least they can get fairly quick delivery of inventory, because BYD, it turns out, is perhaps the largest manufacturer of lithium battery in the world. It's just that they're really delivering on the 100-mile-ish and downrange in situations like port deliveries, as well as the grocery store sort of local deliveries that I just described. So, at any rate, I'm getting back to our main source. Again, I'm wearing black today because unfortunately our friends, I think, at Nikola are done. Again, I'm hoping that somebody might be able to come in and find a way to salvage them. Given everything that the Tesla truck is doing, I have to say I really don't see it, because you even have the problem of, geez, if you really wanted the extra miles and you wanted to do it with Tesla, you could actually equip your trailers to be able to carry extra Tesla battery packs and go the extra miles that others may be offering. So again, unfortunately, I think this is death for Nikola, and I'm really hoping that the engineers and other folks that are there are able to find new positions. And I'm also hoping that perhaps there's a partnership out there with a big manufacturer that doesn't have a solution in that area that might enable them to survive. I want to thank you for taking time out to visit with us today. Would love to hear your comments. Tschüss, mach's gut, au revoir, lehitraot, hoda hafez. Please like and subscribe, and look forward to your comments.